Page 82. Talk about it. Where do they live? And what do they do? Listen.
My name is Linda. I live in London. I work in a library.
My name is Brian. I live in Boston. I work in a bank.
We're Walter and Wendy. We live in Washington, D.C. We work in an office.
My name is Bob. I live in Buffalo. I drive a bus.
We're Howard and Henry. We live in Honolulu. We paint houses.
My name is Tina. I live in Tampa. I drive a taxi.
We're Carol and Ray. We live in Cleveland. We cook in a restaurant. My name is Susan. I live in San Diego. I sell cars.
My name is Victor. I live in Vancouver. I play the violin.
Page 83. Mr. and Mrs. DiCarlo. Listen. Mr. and Mrs. DiCarlo live in an old Italian neighborhood in New York City. They speak a little English, but usually they speak Italian. They read the Italian newspaper. They listen to Italian radio programs. They shop at the Italian grocery store around the corner from their apartment building. And every day they visit their friends and neighbors and talk about life back in the old country. Mr. and Mrs. DiCarlo are upset about their son, Joe. He lives in a small suburb outside the city. He speaks a little Italian, but usually he speaks English. He reads American newspapers. He listens to American radio programs. He shops at big suburban supermarkets and shopping malls. And when he visits his friends and neighbors, he always speaks English. In fact, Joe speaks Italian only when he calls his parents on the telephone or when he visits them every weekend. Mr. and Mrs. DiCarlo are sad because their son speaks so little Italian. They're afraid he's forgetting his language, his culture, and his country. Page 84. How to say it. Hesitating. Listen.
What do you do every day?
Well, I work, I read the newspaper, and I visit my friends.
Page 84. Listening. Listen and choose the correct answer. 1.
My brother lives in Chicago.
2.
My name is Peter. I work in an office.
3.
This is my friend Carla. She speaks Italian.
4.
My sister drives a bus in Chicago.
5.
We read the newspaper every day.
6.
My parents visit their friends every weekend.
7.
Charlie cooks in a Greek restaurant.
8.
My brother and I paint houses.
9.
My friend Betty calls me every day.
10.
My parents usually shop at the mall.
Page 86. Pronunciation. Blending with does. Listen, then say it.
Where does he work? Where does she live? What does he do? What does she read?
Say it, then listen.
Where does he shop? Where does she eat? What does he cook? What does she talk about?
End of Chapter 9. Chapter 10. Page 87. Vocabulary Preview. 1. Sunday. 2. Monday. 3. Tuesday. 4. Wednesday. 5. Thursday. 6. Friday. 7. Saturday. 8. Babysit. 9. Clean. 10. Do yoga. 11. Go dancing. 12. Jog. 13. Play volleyball. 14. Ride. 15. See a movie. 16. See a play. Page 88. Stanley's International Restaurant. Listen. Stanley's International Restaurant is a very special place. Every day, Stanley cooks a different kind of food. On Monday, he cooks Italian food. On Tuesday, he cooks Greek food. On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food. On Thursday, he cooks Puerto Rican food. On Friday, he cooks Japanese food. On Saturday, he cooks Mexican food. And on Sunday, he cooks American food. Listen to the first model.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Monday?
On Monday, he cooks Italian food.
Answer these questions. You will hear the correct line after you speak.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, he cooks Greek food.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, he cooks Chinese food.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Thursday?
On Thursday, he cooks Puerto Rican food.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Friday?
On Friday, he cooks Japanese food. What kind of food does Stanley cook on Saturday?
On Saturday, he cooks Mexican food.
What kind of food does Stanley cook on Sunday?
On Sunday, he cooks American food.
Listen to the second model.
Does Stanley cook Greek food on Tuesday?
Yes, he does.
Answer these questions. You will hear the correct line after you speak.
Does Stanley cook Chinese food on Wednesday?
Yes, he does.
Does Stanley cook Mexican food on Saturday?
Yes, he does.
Does Stanley cook Puerto Rican food on Thursday?
Yes, he does.
Does Stanley cook American food on Sunday?
Yes, he does.
Does Stanley cook Japanese food on Friday?
Yes, he does.
Does Stanley cook Italian food on Monday?
Yes, he does.
Listen to the third model.
Does Stanley cook Japanese food on Sunday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Japanese food?
He cooks Japanese food on Friday.
Answer these questions. You will hear the correct line after you speak.
Does Stanley cook Greek food on Thursday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Greek food?
He cooks Greek food on Tuesday.
Does Stanley cook Mexican food on Monday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Mexican food?
He cooks Mexican food on Saturday.
Does Stanley cook Puerto Rican food on Sunday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Puerto Rican food?
He cooks Puerto Rican food on Thursday.
Does Stanley cook Italian food on Wednesday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Italian food?
He cooks Italian food on Monday.
Does Stanley cook Chinese food on Tuesday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook Chinese food?
He cooks Chinese food on Wednesday.
Does Stanley cook American food on Friday?
No, he doesn't.
When does he cook American food?
He cooks American food on Sunday.
Page 89. Stanley's International Restaurant. Listen to the first model.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Wednesday?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I like Chinese food.
Do exercises 1 through 4. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 1. We'll begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Monday?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I like Italian food.
2. We'll begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Thursday?
Yes, we do.
Why?
Because we like Puerto Rican food.
3. You begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Saturday?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I like Mexican food.
4. You begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Sunday?
Yes, we do.
Why?
Because we like American food.
Listen to the second model.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Sunday?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't like American food.
Do exercises 5 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 5. We'll begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Tuesday?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't like Greek food.
6. We'll begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Wednesday?
No, we don't.
Why not?
Because we don't like Chinese food.
7. We'll begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Friday?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't like Japanese food.
8. You begin.
Do you go to Stanley's restaurant on Monday?
No, we don't.
Why not?
Because we don't like Italian food.
Listen to the third model.
What kind of food do you like?
I like Russian food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
I don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook Russian food.
Do exercises 9 through 12. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 9. We'll begin.
What kind of food do you like?
I like French food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
I don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook French food.
10. We'll begin.
What kind of food do you like?
We like Ethiopian food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
We don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook Ethiopian food.
11. We'll begin.
What kind of food do you like?
I like Thai food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
I don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook Thai food.
12. You begin.
What kind of food do you like?
We like Vietnamese food.
When do you go to Stanley's restaurant?
We don't go there.
Why not?
Because Stanley doesn't cook Vietnamese food.